Hi there, I'm Katherine Moriwaki, and I am currently an assistant professor at Parsons School of Design. I'm basically just going to talk about a few projects that relate to, I guess, the themes that are explored in this conference. A lot of the work that I've done looks at clothing accessories, at mobility in the sense that things that are portable, wearable, handheld, carry. Networks, establishing connections between self and the others, and also the environment. And I guess fashion, but I think of it more in terms of visibility, because actually one of the projects that I'm talking about doesn't really entail any kind of sort of visible element. So I think of it more of as a spectrum between, I guess, what we broadcast to others and what we carry or keep close to us. So the first project I'm going to talk about is actually a collaboration between Jonah and I, and it's called UmbrellaNet. And UmbrellaNet is basically a project that looks at how coincidental and collective experiences connect people in urban spaces. It's also a very mundane accessory, an umbrella, which has added elements of functionality to it. So one of the things that we were interested in, what are the social implications of multi-hop mobile ad hoc networks? So UmbrellaNet is actually a true multi-hop network, it's like an umbrella. And what does visualizing those networks in public space reveal about the use and connectivity of these spaces? So basically it's a series of umbrellas which, goodness gracious, at the time had a compact iPack as its primary, I guess, means of connecting. And one of the things that we were interested in looking at were basically appearance layers to illustrate ad hoc network formation during moments of coincidence. So how people view these networks or what kind of conceptual models they bring with them. And we had some basic applications, which are basically sharing of location-based maps, chat, relay, music sharing, weather, mount maps, and more. One of the things that we did was basically have a bit of custom electronics mounted into the umbrella, which then communicated via Bluetooth to this compact iPack, which was running the multi-hop ad hoc network software or communication stack. So essentially the umbrella itself was really a Bluetooth peripheral, which then communicated with its sort of primary communications module. And it was a network that had no fixed infrastructure. When people opened up their umbrella, basically look for other like nodes, and when it found other like nodes, it connect, forming a temporary network, and then as soon as people close those umbrellas, the network would shut down and the network would disappear. So moving on, another thing that I was really interested in at the time was this project, Urban Chameleon. Basically reactive garments that influence and change perceptions of one's surroundings. There were 3 skirts based along the themes of social interconnection, and environmental stimuli were displayed on the body and can affect urban behavior and communication. So there were 3 skirts. One was called Touch. That's the one to the far right. And basically what we had there were touch-sensitive pads. Those are those coppery rings that you see in the middle. And when you, the scenario behind that would be that I guess when you would sort of accidentally in crowded spaces have other people brush up against you, the skirt would kind of immediately light up as a reflection of that incidental contact. In the middle you have here, which is basically had a small little microphone and little embedded motors, so that based off of environmental sound levels or noise pollution, the skirt would tremble out of frustration and fear. And the other skirt was basically would monitor air pollution or air quality and would change colors as an ambient display. And so these were all kind of based off of the environmental irritants that commuters often encounter. And this fed into another project, which I called Inside Outside. It was an ordinary fashion accessory, a handbag with integrated pollution sensors, and provided basically an aesthetically and functionally integrated object, which ended up creating alternative city mappings based on co-location and physical space. Embedded in the bags were actually, again, a small little pocket PC which would log the data over time and allow you to basically upload that information to a shared map. Basically, what I was interested in was this idea of personally invested technology which monitors environmental factors. And so this ordinary accessory, a kind of handbag, if you will, would be the literal collector, if you will, of experience throughout the day and be able to show that exposure both on the surface of the bag like a mirror and also collecting that information like a diary. And then another more recent project, this one was actually from 2007, so actually not that recent. An interactive narrative staged in a shopping mall based on proximity and environmental factors. The title of this project is actually a little long, which is why I didn't include it in the heading. It's actually Everything is Connected, After All, Isn't It? And it was a commission by the Futuresonic Festival in 2007 under a scheme titled Art for Shopping Centers. So this was actually created to be deployed at the Arndale in Manchester and was exhibited there as part of the Futuresonic 2007 festival. So an interactive narrative staged in a shopping mall based on proximity and environmental factors, a flock of mobile devices carried by participants, and the story unfolds in response to the presence of others. Basically, there was as you can see inside the box, a little microcontroller which would then trigger a serial controlled MP3 player and the new and absolutely fabulous, or newer and absolutely fabulous little XB modules, which would allow us to create very simple and robust, mobile mesh networks. So we had these devices, and I interviewed a number of people who were Manchester residents of different origin and duration and different degrees of connection with the city, all describing their experiences with shopping, which would then trail off into other kinds of related reflections about the city. And so as people would move throughout the space, engaged in this kind of conversation, listening to the monologue of each individual, as they began to walk through the space and intersect, their paths would intersect with other participants of the installation, the monologue would actually track along different sort of routes and would actually blend the monologues from different units together based off of the proximity and collocation. So it was kind of like this idea of stories which would simultaneously fold together and branch off depending on who was present in the space.